Yeah, I know for us, and I think probably for a lot of other home care companies during that period of COVID, families started discovering that this was even an option. It's something they should have known for quite a while. We had a lady who was in a nursing home during COVID, and we can all remember how horrific that was for being able to visit your loved one. Especially in Michigan, you're in Ohio, standing out in the middle of the freezing winter, waving and trying to have a communication and a conversation between a window, and they said mom's there because she's legally blind and she lives alone. She's diabetic. She can't, check her sugar or read her glucometer. And we were told this was the only option, and we said, well, no, we could absolutely care for her in the home. And I mean, it just renewed this woman's life. And it was one of the most beautiful things you'd ever seen. But how many other families are out there that don't know and don't find that there are these other options available? And I'm just hoping, for me personally, sooner than 5 years, but at the best case scenario, maybe it's 5, 10 years, that families start understanding about all these different resources. It's not just one or the other, meaning nursing home, hospital, or that's it. And so we hope that that really grows a greater awareness. And I think the work you're doing at, LT CareNav is really going to help make that possible. But you also wrote a book, and it's centered around the questions that families should be asking during that long-term care journey. What really inspired you to write it, and why do you think that families often don't know the right questions to ask until they're already in the middle of that crisis?
So there's two things there. One, they don't know the right questions to ask until they're there. And even when they're there, they still don't know the right questions to ask or the intricacies of what is going into this. I think some of the questions in the book, so the book is called The Questions That Matter. It's 82 questions. It's 82 questions. There was a lot more questions. It was 82 questions. I had to narrow it down because the book was already like 65,000 words at 82 questions. And I was like, ooh, yeah, because so there are more. Maybe there'll be like another 82 question book that comes out. They were the questions that I've heard over and over. Most of them are. And then the other ones were ones that I've seen the repercussions of families not having answers for. And they're hard questions to ask. They are things of, personal care is intimate. And actually saying to your child or if you have a son and a daughter, who's actually going to be willing to toilet me? That is a hard conversation to frame. I mean, and as hard as that is, some families are very strange about where money is kept and who's going to get it. But to say to somebody, child A, you're older, but you're not as responsible as your younger sibling, so you're going to be my financial power of attorney. There's so many intricacies of it, and not having the conversations don't make it go away. We created a card game to go with the book. So do you know the game Cards Against Humanity? Yes. So we created cards for caregiving. And so it's the 82 questions in the book and phrased in ways that are fun for the game. And then we have all the answers. So we have like a daylight edition and a sundowning edition. So the one a little more naughtier, just like Cards Against Humanity. And when you throw your answers down, every card comes with a QR code and links to the answer. Like, why are you having this conversation? Why is it important? What do you need to make sure you can talk about to get it resolved? So it gives families who are not in the crisis mode a way to start the conversation in a fun way, because the conversations can be a little lighter when you're not in the moment.